Everybody, welcome to another episode of the Evexia Effect. I'm Jilly, your host, and I'm so glad you're here today. We have a wonderful guest. We have a lady called Sharon who lives on our beautiful island of Kos, and she's going on a new business venture at the moment, and she's created this amazing natural sauce for salads, dressings, etc. But the reason why we're talking about it here on the Evexia Effect is because it's all local products here from Greece. So we're talking about all the benefits and why we use local products and just everything amazing about food sources that come from Greece. So thank you very much. Welcome, Sharon. Thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you, finally.
So, Sharon, we're going to get straight into it. So, can you take us back to the beginning and tell us about your relationship with food and cooking growing up?
Oh gosh, well, I've been cooking as long as I can remember. I was always really interested in cooking because when I was a little girl, which is a long time ago, we used to have home economics classes at school. So you had to take your ingredients and do your lessons and everything. And it was my favourite subject. I'm dyslexic, so I was never very good at reading and things. So somebody standing in front of you and explaining, it just became a hobby and a love from a really early age. And then I just continued throughout my life. It's just been my love, passion, food, making recipes up myself. And because again, I'm not very good at reading recipes, I've just always just like put ingredients together and it's turned out well.
Perfect. That's great. So, you've spoken about your own health and weight journey in your early 20s. How did that experience change the way you thought about food?
I don't think it made me change my ways about food. I'd always really been interested in eating healthily and healthy food. And when I was around my 20s, I actually worked in a fruit and veg shop. And we sold fresh fish there and dairy products and stuff. So I used to talk to all the little old ladies that came in every day to do the shopping and find out about what they would use the different foods for. And I always had lots of fresh things in my house. But I just got off the rails a bit and put some weight on and joined Weight Watchers. And had point systems. And what was crazy was my actual favourite foods were vegetables, salads, and so that was something that was my daily food and anyway, but I just like got used to putting the things that we shouldn't really eat or too much of them, and it showed on the outside. So when I joined Weight Watchers, you had a point system, and back in the day then there wasn't a lot of like things around to add into foods, salads especially, that were a low calorie and tasty as well. So I wanted to eat salads and vegetables, and they were free, so you could eat as many as you wanted all day long if you wanted, and make soups and things. But it was what you put in to make the flavours that was the problem, because they were more higher points, and most of those things like mayonnaise and stuff, it was fat content that made them higher. So we had a free list of foods you were allowed to use as well as your salads. And I thought, well, I can eat salads all day and stuff, but I need something to put on it, but not my high points. So I looked on the list and there was vinegar and lemon and mustard, which were free. And they're very nice complements to a lot of food and health benefits as well to them. And then there was olive oil and honey, which were points, but they were healthy points. although olive oil was considered a fat. So I used the honey and the olive oil, not very high amounts. And I've got my bottle here now. So what I used to do was I used to measure with my bottle honey, olive oil, mustard, lemon, vinegar, which the last three I could put as much as I wanted. And then I just put it in, shake it all up. And I was like, oh God, that tastes good. And I knew that it was really low in the points for me to put it on anything. So I just started making my dressing, and that's how it all happened. And everywhere I went, it went with me.
That's an amazing story. At what point did you realize that this was something that other people wanted too, not just for yourself, not just something that you were going to put on your salads?
Well, first of all, in the staff canteen at work, everybody was like, "What's that?" And they always used to say, "Oh, you're always so healthy," and then I'd have this little yellow bottle with me, putting it on, and everybody would be like, "What is it? What is it?" But also, I always had a bottle in the kitchen at home. If people came round who had barbecues, I put it on the table. And people had asked what it is. I was like, oh, it's just this thing I make for salads. I'll make you a bottle if you want. And started to give it to friends and things. And consequently, then when I moved to Greece when I was 30, 26 years ago, I continued, even though I still wasn't on the weight plan anymore. It became a big part of my life. It was something I just continued to make always. And then here, Greeks, they use, it's classic, isn't it? Olive oil and vinegar on their salads, especially Greek salad. So, and they use fresh lemon and things on a lot of salads as well. So friends would come again to the house and we'd have barbecues and they'd be like, what's that sauce, that sauce? And I'd the same. I'd say, oh, I'll make you some if you want. And I used to make it and give it to people. A long time down the line, we opened a restaurant and I wanted to put a salad on the menu and use my dressing. Uh, that's when everything changed, and I realised just how much more people loved it because it was going on the salad of the Taratsa salad, which is why the dressing's called Taratsa now. And it went on the garnishes as well of all the plates for a lot of the different dishes. So hundreds of people a day were trying my dressing and consequently asking what it was. To a day when these lovely ladies who were actually staying in a hotel here that was very well known for sports activities, and they used to come and play tennis, and they were a tennis group. Well, they said, what's that dressing? What is it? I've never tasted a dressing like that before. And they went around the table. There was about 10 of them. And I was like, told them the story, it's mine, whatever. And then they said, can we buy some? And I was like, well, I've never sold it before, but I suppose you can. I can make you some, like I have been doing for years for all my friends and family and stuff. So they went round the table and then said, can we have 30 bottles? And I was like, 30 bottles? I haven't even got bottles to put it in. So consequently, this isn't rehearsed, but water bottles that, we all use in the restaurant. I was like, oh, we could use those. So we gathered up 30 bottles, sterilised them, and I made 30 bottles of dressing and delivered them to this hotel for all these ladies. And they took them home, and that was about 16 years ago, and I still have contact with a lot of those ladies, and they messaged me. They came back, some of them for years after, always said to me, can we take some dressing back with us? Will you make us some? And that's how I started the idea of actually bottling it and selling it in the restaurant.
Amazing. So now you're on more of a journey that you're going to go more official and you've
Yeah.
created a name. So you've created a brand name, Telika.
Yeah.
Okay? Can you tell us how that name came about and why it felt right?
Oh gosh. Well, the thing is, it was such a long time trying to think of a brand name. So Taratsa dressing came out very naturally, natural product, naturally with the restaurant, the name of that. But I needed to find a brand, and it was coming and going for years. Not it's taken for years, and I've asked friends, family. We've had little group chats. It was going to be Sharon's kitchen. It was going to be Taratsa, but then it didn't sound right. Taratsa dressing, because I've actually got a lot of other products now that have come into the little family. So it needed a one brand name. So because this has been going on for so many years and it's something I've been wanting to do, and I speak Greek and live in Greece, um, I don't know how it happened, but one day something came up. I was doing something on Google Translate and it said, finally, and Telika at the side of it. And I was like, and then I went to my printers one day for some other work for the restaurant. And he said to me, Telika, and obviously he's talking in Greek with Telika, what happened with that sauce you were making? And I went, Telika, in which he was like saying, in the end, what happened? And I was like, Telika, that's it. The end. The end of your salad, where you put it on at the end. It's the end of my journey in trying to find a name. It also is finally, at last. So that's how the name came about.
That's a good story. Like it is a journey and it does really fit. Telika finally is definitely a good journey. It's not just a story for the actual dressing, but for you as well, because you
100%.
finally got to this
Yeah.
point of then taking
And
that step forward.
yeah, and the other thing is that is really important. Obviously, this all started in England. I'm English. Um, but without knowing, when I did actually make the dressing in the beginning, all the ingredients in the dressing are very naturally sourced Greek products that anybody in Greece has in their kitchen and uses and have been using for years and years and years. Hundreds of years, even olive oil, vinegar, lemon. We pick the lemons off the trees here. So then to move to Greece and without knowing that these ingredients were all living costs. You can walk down a road, pick a lemon off the tree, olive oil, olive trees are growing all around us. They make olive oil all over the island. Honey, we've even got places on the island now that, honey farms and stuff. So to again, it's part of the journey. So I definitely wanted them to make it that it had a Greek identity. So the name Telika, it's also a word that anybody can say. So even English people can say very easily. Whereas, I'm sure you know yourself, a lot of Greek words, when an English person says them, they don't sound at all the same.
Yeah.
So it's something that is really, precious to me to give it that identity as well for the Greek, but just for the appreciation as well as being able to live in such a beautiful place, and use these products, and it's my second home. So yeah, it's all a part about of the story again, really.
Amazing. So let's talk about those amazing ingredients. So one of the beautiful things about this dressing is its simplicity. Okay. Why do you love working with few natural ingredients rather than lots of processed ones?
Wow. Well, that just speaks for itself, doesn't it? It's the flavors, it's the freshness, tasting all the different ingredients. I do always think less is more as well. And I am a chef now, which again wasn't part of the plan, but it's my, like I've said before, it's my love, it's been my life, food. So it was a natural transition. And I make all the dishes in the restaurant with my own recipes. And I can actually say, and I've said it to people so many times, majority of my recipes actually only have up to 5 ingredients. And you can taste all the different flavors. So that's what's really special about Taratsa dressing as well, because a lot of people, they taste it and they'll say it's got honey, taste honey without knowing, and they can taste the mustard. They always get a bit, oh, they get, with the lemon, they usually say the vinegar, but then there's always one ingredient they can't actually get. But that's been good for me to keep my secret. But yeah, it's so important. And the way that we're living now, in especially in other countries, it's so good in Greece that and the Mediterranean generally, people still use natural ingredients. There's so many health benefits about using natural ingredients. Even to now, I don't understand all the benefits of all natural ingredients. But people don't know what real food tastes like anymore because of processed foods, preservatives, artificial colorings, artificial flavorings. So to have something, for an example, like Telika, the whole brand, because there are another lot of products to come, and Taratsa dressing, to actually taste something that's amazing, but at the same time feel good and be eating something that actually gives you health benefits is just a plus
Yeah,
plus, isn't it?
for sure. Definitely. For sure. Let's start with olive oil. Okay, we're going to talk about olive oil. Okay, one of your ingredients. Why is it such an important ingredient in the Mediterranean well-being? Why do we use it so much?
Well, it's a good it's classed as a fat, isn't it? But it's a good fat. It's got antioxidants. It's really good for heart health. It's natural. The olives, the other thing about any of these products in Greece and the Mediterranean is the sun. That's what makes as well a lot of the flavors and the health points, vitamin C, vitamin D. There's so many vitamins that we don't realize about all of these ingredients, and the health benefits again, which we keep saying, but that's what it's all about. It's all about
Yeah.
health.
There's a reason why the Mediterranean diet is classed as the healthiest diet, and why there's places in Greece where people live longer than everywhere else because they're using these natural products. So lemon juice brings freshness, an amazing freshness. Something which as you've mentioned before, you can just walk down the street and pick lemons off the tree. Most people have a lemon tree in their garden. What do you love about it, both in flavour and in terms of the well-being?
Before any of that, the smell. Oh my God. When you pick a lemon off the tree, that smell is just, I mean, you never would go anywhere back, and I hate to say it, but it's because where I'm from, you would never go into the UK anywhere and buy a lemon and it smell like that, just to start with. The colour, the it just makes you, it just, the smell on its own just makes you like zing. It lifts you up. And then there's all the health benefits, the vitamin C. Another thing about a lot of, well, nearly all of the the components of Taratsa is that everything is antioxidant as well, which is what's really important to us all health wise, because you know we can all want to improve our eating and health, and eat good things, but there's always going to be some not good things that are going to come along the lines.
Yeah.
So the fact that this has got all these antioxidants in it as well, and gets rid of the helps getting rid of the bad stuff, is another plus. But lemons is just so versatile. I mean, you can make cakes with them, can't you? We're making a dressing now, which is for savoury foods. Making homemade lemonade is really popular here in Greece as well, which is another one. I'm still a novice. Maybe shouldn't be talking about this on here, but I actually have started making limoncello.
Oh, very
But
nice.
a little bit of alcohol sometimes doesn't do us any harm, does it? But we get so many lemons given, and I'm sure you'll know yourself, Julie. We're living on this island, and this is the time of year, April time, but always around Easter. It's like, we go to somebody's house, wouldn't we? If we get invited for dinner, you take a bottle of wine or some chocolates. Now you get a bag of lemons. So we get so many, and I make cakes. I do make we put them in our tea. I like to drink it as well, just loads of slices of it in hot water, and just keep topping it up. So I just thought, well, all these peels going to waste. It's a shame, isn't it? A bit of something that we shouldn't as well. But the smell is just unbelievable. The
It is.
flavour.
I personally drink lemon water every morning, so I squeeze half a lemon. The lemons are big here, by the way. They're not tiny, so
Mm.
half a lemon's like the size of a full lemon in the UK. I squeeze half a lemon with hot water. That's the first thing I drink in the morning, and it's supposed to be very good for the immune system. So it
Yes,
detoxes
add a
the
bit of
body,
ginger
flushes
as
all the
well.
bad stuff out.
Mm, so good. And you
So,
just feel good, don't you? You feel
yeah,
clean. That's what I think it is about lemons as well. Like, you feel clean, and that's another thing. We here in the restaurant, we use lemon juice for cleaning as well,
yeah,
because it's
I
a
do as well in my house.
natural.
Yeah,
Same with vinegar. It's a natural antiseptic as well, and for
I
cleaning. And
yeah, my entire house is clean top to bottom with vinegar and lemon
it's
and
very
baking
normal.
soda. So yeah,
Greeks still live like back in the day, before all these like um, cleaning substances were available. And I know that in the UK, my mum, who's in her 70s now, she still uses vinegar for cleaning and things, because they did as well back in the day, in the UK. But these cleaning products have taken over and become very, very widely available. But that's what I love about the Greek lifestyle, that they're not going to be pushed into that category
yeah,
and start to change their lifestyle. I love the fact that they still go to the supermarket, the butchers, the bakery every morning, which is what it was like when I was little in England. You went and you bought for that day, you got your vegetables from the vegetable shop, your meat from the butchers, your bread from the bakers, and that's why the Greeks live so much longer and healthier. I know here in this village where I live in Cardamona, it's it's very normal for people to live into their 90s, you
Yeah,
know, and they're good as well. They're walking around, and it's all because of this uh, healthy eating. On a daily basis, one of the most common conversations between Greek women is, what are you cooking today? I mean, in England, we'd be like, oh, we'll see what I've got in the fridge, and maybe it's 6 o'clock at night or something. They're in the kitchen at 6 o'clock in the morning, planning the meal for the day.
yeah, yeah. It's definitely a different way of life for sure,
Mm.
but a
Mhm.
much healthier one. So the third ingredient, let's talk about the honey. So honey has such a long tradition in both food and natural healing. So what does honey play in this dressing beyond the sweetness?
The fact again about natural, which we keep saying, but it's sweet, but you don't feel like you're being naughty.
Yeah,
It it and it's also feels luxurious because it's like something that you wouldn't necessarily have always had on a daily basis. It's not the cheapest thing to buy either. So it is a luxury part of the dressing in terms of sweetness. And again, the other thing, like with the name Telika at the end, you always would drizzle your honey on the top of your yogurt and things like that, and your fruit, and it's always another one of those things that you put in at the end. Um, and again, with living in costs now, we've got honey farms around, and it's just so lovely to see it being made. The bees on the things, and the honeycombs and stuff. So it was obviously that wasn't the reason when it was made. It was just product that was a sugar again. So like in my list of things, fats, sugars, proteins, whatever, it was a sugar, but it was something that was a good sugar
yeah.
and good for your health.
It's it's like bringing it to Greece has made it more natural and raw. So rather than buying your ingredients from the supermarket, which you probably did before, you're now
Mhm.
actually getting it from the local source where it's originated, which I'm going to imagine that it actually probably tastes better now than it did when you first created it.
Definitely, definitely, definitely. Um, I mean, it's if you imagine back then, it was just like I've said, I had a bottle, I just like looked and went like this, and but over the years, it's become a standard recipe, which obviously the quantities are weighed of each ingredient, and it did change a little bit from what it was in the beginning. In fact, it's probably become a lot sweeter because the honey's so good here as well, and there's a little bit more than there was back then because I don't have to count those points anymore.
Let's move on to mustard. So, mustard is often said to support the digestion and contains a lot of beneficial compounds. Do you think ingredients like this show that flavour and wellness can go hand in hand?
Yeah, 100%. And again, it's very low in calories as well, which is another thing for people that actually are wanting to not just watch like with the weight or lose weight maybe, but just maintaining a healthy diet and not over going too high with your calories and stuff. And also that again, it makes a bit more room for the things that we shouldn't be eating too much of. It's also, again, got antioxidants. It's really good for your digestion, which again, not what it was in the beginning, but I've in my last couple of decades of my life, I've had some serious bowel operations, and it's really affected the way that I eat. So would you believe now, since then, I actually can't eat salads and vegetables like I could before, because I can't digest very easily. So this is another good thing for me personally, that the ingredients in Telika are all things that are really good for digestion as well, and gut health, which mustard is, but who would have thought, again, back in that time, that that would be something that I would be reaching out to now. So it started off as something to make food tasty and for weight, to lose weight and stuff. But now it's also helping me because I've got another health issue with my eating, whereas I could eat loads of vegetables and salads and stuff then. Now I actually can't. And that's really upsetting for me because it's just such an important part of my eating habit. So I've had to change my eating habits now. And the good thing is I can use Telika on lots of different things as well to give me those health benefits and still tastes as well.
Really interesting that the sauce that you created years ago is actually supporting your health issues now, because we change as we get older. And I can't imagine to be in your situation where you can't eat the fruit and vegetables, especially when here on the island everything is so fresh and it is such good quality. And
So the fact that on the island as well, which you'll know, like the lemons and stuff, they not using fertilizers like they do, things aren't put in greenhouses and chemicals. So even just things we buy on a daily basis, which are now classed as organic, actually we're eating organic food all the time here because
yeah,
I don't know about you, Julie, but we go down the roads on from my village to Kos, and there's all these little stands on the road, and it's just local farmers selling their produce,
yeah,
which is just phenomenal that we just have that on our doorstep. And people take it as such a luxury item to have and pay so much money for as well. And they're still not getting the same flavours and health benefits that we have from all these foods that we have available here.
yeah. So Kos is known for tomato farming back in the years before tourism came. But to this day, no tomato anywhere tastes the same as it does on Kos, to the point where my family always take tomatoes back home with them.
Well, that's unbelievable because my cousin, he's a real foodie and he lives in France now, actually. But he used to come here on holiday and he used to buy a massive bag of tomatoes, peppers, um, I can't remember what other things, but they were two of the main things, and take them back home with him because he said nowhere ever has
Doesn't have
tomatoes
the flavors.
like that. And
Yeah,
that's for me as well. I would before, and from being really young as well, before all the Telika came out, Taratsa and the dieting and everything, I'd eat a tomato like an apple, because
Yeah. Because it's
back
got
in,
such good flavour.
yeah. And also I mean, I'm a lot older than you, but we're going back to the 70s. So when I was little, tomatoes then did have taste because things weren't being mass produced and everything's got to be exactly the same size and it's wrapped in plastic, and
Yeah.
it we then we would get from local farmers in the UK,
Yeah.
like not the same, but like we do here. And I wish that I could eat a tomato like an apple now on a daily basis, especially when we've got these amazing tomatoes that grow
Yeah.
here.
Yeah.
The plum shaped ones are the best.
Yes. Yeah. They do taste amazing. Yeah.
Mm.
Let's move on to the last ingredients of your dressing. So, vinegar. So, vinegar is often linked again to digestion and blood sugar balance. How important is it to you that everyday ingredients can offer both taste and functional benefits?
Well, again, it all comes down to the health side of things. Uh, Vinegar as well, which I don't know if people know. I mean, we don't generally know all these benefits of these ingredients as we don't of many foods, but vinegar as well is very good for weight management. It's calories and like nothing as well. Um, it does really lift and make a difference to a salad dressing as well, 100%. And it's just one of those ingredients that you would see on every table in Greece, where even every restaurant, every home, oil and vinegar. So it's part of a little relationship, I think, with
Yeah.
food generally. And oil and vinegar, they're like just a marriage, aren't they, themselves? You wouldn't go anywhere and not see them or have them in your home or anywhere in a restaurant, anywhere.
Amazing. So, how much of wellness, in your view, comes not just from the ingredients themselves, but the way the food is actually prepared and shared and enjoyed? So, this is all down to the Mediterranean lifestyle. We've briefly talked about where we're getting the food from, why it tastes so good. But in the way we live here on a Mediterranean Greek island, how do you think that wellness element is?
Well, it's just phenomenal, isn't it, really? I mean, it it's so um natural. It's part of everyday life. It's not something you even have to think about or feel like you're trying. It's foods and flavors that you just will eat and not think about it being as a health
Yeah.
benefit.
So
It is just daily life.
yeah. So I think the way we live here in Greece though, it's slow eating. So the family gets together. We're not
Oh,
just like sitting down and eating like super fast. We sit down, we
no.
enjoy the food, we have company. It's that
Yeah.
whole family aspect which allows
It,
our body to digest the food. We feel better when we're eating. We're eating for more than just like because we feel hungry.
yes, yeah, that's 100%. I mean, in Greece, the most important time of the day is the afternoon. And the main meal of the day is eaten in the afternoon, not at night. So you've got a lot of time to digest the food before you go for sleep as well, which is also really important
Yeah.
about when we eat. It's not just what we eat, it's the times that we eat, how we eat. You said about, company. It is about company as well. It's the time of day when the family get time to sit down and nobody's in a rush. They got time to chill with each other, catch up with each other, take the time, have, there's always a plate of salad on the table. Whatever food, whatever meal you have, there's always a bowl of salad, whatever kind of salad. It could be a lettuce mix, it could be, tomato, Greek salad, loads of different. That's always, and it's all about coming together, being healthy as well again, but without it being something that you've got to try to do. It's just a natural thing. But the other thing, which I'm sure you've experienced, Gilly, is that what's really, really special and important that we've lost back in the UK is that we eat foods seasonally. It's not that you can get the same foods all the time, all year round. So we know for example, September, there's going to be grapes. Everybody's bringing, like the lemon season now in April. In July, August, it's figs. You won't you can get tomatoes all the time, but the tomato season isn't in the winter. So the
No.
tomatoes aren't going to be as great as they are at other times of the year. So like broccoli, the cauliflower, there's so many things. It's all that time. So again, now April time, it's March, April, strawberry time. So we eat foods throughout the year when it's the season for them. So they're the freshest, they're the tastiest, and they're not just mass produced
Yeah.
to be able to eat all year round.
Yeah.
Like watermelon, you won't find watermelon in the wintertime here. In the wintertime, the foods we would eat in Greece is like beetroot, cauliflower, broccoli, boiled as a salad as well.
Yeah. Yeah.
We'd think of having cold broccoli in England or cold cauliflower, would we? It'd be red hot on the plate and maybe some gravy on it or butter or whatever.
Yeah.
But that's another great thing about the Greek lifestyle and the Greek eating habits. And the mums, like the old like yayas, we call them, the Greek grannies and stuff, they'll sit at the table and they'll be saying, "Oh, that horta," which is actually, for anybody that doesn't know, means weeds in Greek if we translate it. But they always say, "Well, I've actually gone and picked it in the
Yeah.
fields
Yeah.
and
My
boiled it."
husband goes and picks the water and
Yeah,
cooks the water.
and
Yeah.
they'll sit around the table and be like, "Oh," somebody would say, "Oh, where did you get that horta from?" Or where, they'll discuss, "Oh, that
Yeah.
bread's good. Where did you get that bread from? Which bakery?" And it's a general daily
Yeah.
conversation. It's one of
Yeah.
the most talked about subjects in Greek
We
life.
we forage
Food.
here. So my husband goes out and gets the fresh asparagus during like February, the mushrooms around winter time. Horta
Wow.
goes and gets his horta. We forage a lot in our house, and my
Yeah.
husband knows where to go to get it all. Yeah, it's
Well,
really
he'll have
good.
been taught all that from his
Yeah,
mum or his grandma. And that's how it comes about because it's talked about so much. Food is just the main subject, I think, that
yeah,
all Greeks talk about. And the other thing, not talking now about things that are actually grown, which is what we've talked about mainly, but fresh fish. We're next to the sea. The fishermen go around in the morning after they've been out on the little boats and catch the fish and sell it. And then,
yeah.
again, you've got all these wonderful side things that you can eat with it, salads, vegetables, all again from this wonderful, healthy place that we live in.
It's amazing. Like, I just don't, I think we're so lucky to be living here and to be able to create, to eat these amazing foods. And then for you to be able to create what you've created from our local natural ingredients is amazing. And for other people now for you to be able to share that, and you're sharing it not just here in Kos, people from around the world that have been coming to visit you and now able to take a taste of Kos home with them,
Yes.
um, in a much natural way, and it's amazing.
And
It's great.
also, it's they're taking a little bit of sunshine in a bottle home with them
Yes, for
because
sure.
that's what it is. It's got the colour, it's got the
Yeah, so
flavours, makes you feel good.
perfect. So where can people find you and your Telika dressing?
Well, at the moment, it's available to buy at my restaurants. So I have one restaurant called Taratsa, as we've next door. We have an Italian restaurant called Cucina Italiana, and that is another place where you can buy it. You can contact me directly also for personal orders. It's still very early in the time for getting to be selling online with like maybe Spotify accounts, things like that. Shopify, not Spotify. We're not selling music. Um, so it's just a case of watching this space. If people want to look on the Instagram or join, follow Instagram, Facebook, Telika for more updates. But other than that, you can contact me directly. I have actually got some little samples for you, Julie, as well, which, if any of the people watching this want to send to you or to me that they'd like to taste it, and we can send some little samples out to people as well. Or if they're just here on the island
Perfect.
on holiday, they can come pass by. I'm very happy to let them have a taste. They can order a Taratsa salad or whatever. They can try before they buy.
Amazing. So if anybody does want any more information, please just send me a message. Or if you do want a little sample of this amazing product, and I can assure you it tastes incredible. Sharon gave me 2 bottles to sample, and I think they lasted a week. I literally put it on everything, not just salads. Um, and the fact that it is all local ingredients, because I only like to eat natural stuff, local ingredients. Um, it's amazing. But thank you. Thank you so much, Sharon. And I can't wait to share
Dad, one.
everything with
No,
everybody
it's been
else.
me too. But can I just, if we've still got time, just add
Yeah.
one more thing to all of this? And it didn't come up before. Another great thing about terrazzo dressing is that kids love it because possibly the sweetness of it. So it's great for introducing something that's uh, good for them as well, their health and healthy eating. I did a little stall at my daughter's school when she was at school in Leeds. And I was asked by one of the teachers who tried the dressing if I would do a Greek stall and sell some products. So I did a few things. The dressing, of course, was one of the main products. I made tzatziki, hummus, marinated olives, the sweet red peppers, which again are amazing here, stuffed with feta cheese and stuff. And I had a little sample bowl and little bits of bread for people to taste the dressing. And there was a chocolate stall next to my stall, and they had no customers really. And I had a queue of 20 kids at my stall, all that had come and dipped bread and tasted the dressing and the hummus, not just like and then run around the school looking for the parents and drag them back to buy bottles of the dressing.
Amazing. That's
And
incredible. If
my
you can win over the
yeah,
children, you're on to a winner.
yeah, and also the governor that at the school that actually asked me to do the stall that I'd given some dressing to, when he first tried it, it must have been a weekend, and I went to drop my daughter off at school, and he said to me, Miss Greaves, oh my God, my kids never eat vegetables. He said, and they've put your dressing and they're eating everything.
Amazing. That is a true success story. If you can win the kids over to get them to eat more fruit and vegetables,
Yes.
definitely onto
Well,
a winner.
my daughter's been really supportive. She's just turned 18, and she's just now getting into more about healthy eating and everything. And she's been taking the dressing to school to give out to kids there to try. And it's the same thing. They're getting the parents to get buy the dressing now as well. And she's following in my
Amazing.
footsteps because what she's doing now is she goes to school and she has a bottle of dressing in her bag. And she goes to the little canteen to buy the sandwich that she gets there in the morning. And she stands there with the dressing, putting it in her sandwich, and other kids are lining up for her to put it in theirs.
That's just a perfect situation. Well, congratulations. And
Thank
welcome to your
you.
daughter as well. We're going to
Yeah.
wrap up, and I want to thank you so much for joining us.
No,
If
thank you for
anybody does
inviting
have
me.
questions,
Thank you. I hope I did okay. But thank you so
amazing.
much, Julie. Thank you for
Thank
your
you.
support, and thank you for this opportunity.
You're welcome. You're very welcome, Lovey. It's been a real pleasure to have you here. Well,
Oh,
thank you
thank
to all our listeners to listening to the Evexia Effect. If you don't already subscribe to the Evexia Effect, please do so. Just click that subscribe button. If you do have any questions, or you are interested in Sharon's amazing dressing, or you want to talk more about natural ingredients of course, just drop me a message. Thank you very much.